played the boxing game. And what this speaks to, and this is a boxing show, boxing is fundamentally exploitative. I get this as a fan. It's a guilty pleasure. I get it, right? And usually it's fans and networks exploiting fighters, right? We say, we want to see you in blood and guts fights, which risks their health for the rest of their life to entertain us. But here's what's crazy to me about a fight like that. And I remember, when I'm a little kid, Sugar Ray Leonard wins the gold medal. And then you blink, he's fighting Benitez for the title. Then he's fighting Durant twice. Then he's fighting Hearns. It didn't take 100 years to make the fight. But what's wild about something like this is a real super fight, and I said this on the broadcast for Crawford and Canelo, can't be promoted into existence. Right. What a real super fight is, the dust settles in an era, and there are two dudes left standing. Yep. There's Ali, there's Frazier, there's Leonard, there's Hagler, there's Mayweather, there's Pacquiao. That's a super fight, right? There's Crawford, there's Canelo. Those are two big fighters of the era. This type of fight, this could easily be at the end of an era, because Teo might be a dude left standing and Shakur could be the dude left standing, right?
I agree. Are you training to do something to not just beat Shakur, but to beat him in grand fashion? When I say grand fashion, I mean going for the knockout.
Well, I think that the whole thing is the Bible of boxing really is that if you look for the knockout, you won't get it. I think really it's just all about setting the good pace early in the beginning rounds and then going from there.
We have going for us when a person underestimates you. That's lovely. And that ain't the only thing he's underestimating. So we're good.
Max Kellerman believes this matchup will not be easy and says it is risky for Shakur and a real test of his ability.
It's aesthetically pleasing fight. We've seen the way Teo goes against some of these boxers. We've seen Shakur in some bad fights, obviously. Although Shakur looks pretty damn good against Williams Zepeda. Teo's not a pressure guy. He likes to counter punch. Two counter punchers, really.
Yes, it is not but there are some fights, guys. I think about Pernell Whitaker and Buddy McGirt, or Sugar Ray Leonard and Wilfred Benitez. I love the high-speed chess match. Not every fight has to be rock'em sock'em robots, right? That is, I agree with you. Aesthetically, there could be problems because someone has to take the lead, and they're both counter punchers. But Chris, Teo has some angles with his feet that might bother a guy like Shakur.
That's exactly what I was thinking. He has great angles with the feet. He moves greater in the ring, and combination fighter, to me, combinations is the best.
Teo remains confident and believes the fight will open Shakur Stevenson eyes when they finally face each other.
Number one, my mandatory, and he didn't. He was too hesitant trying to commit to punches. So I think that it's just something that's going to be a rude awakening for Shakur.
Hey, Doug, you hear that? He said the Bible of boxing. What else is called the Bible of boxing? It's Ring Magazine. And he's a two-division Ring Magazine champ.
Great ambassador for those championship belts as well.
Yep, absolutely.
I'm very big on those things. I claimed 2 weight divisions, 2 Ring Magazine belts.
Shakur coach Jack says they stuck with their normal training, but changed the game plan this time to get him ready in a smarter way.
Trying a few new little things, you know what I'm saying? But other than that, it's basically the same thing we've been doing. We changed the strategy, but no camp is never exactly the same. So yeah, it's just like always. We may try a little bit of this, a little bit of that, but it's mainly the same things. One of the best things we have going for us when a person underestimates you. That's lovely. And that ain't the only thing he's underestimating. So we're good.
Max Kellerman says Shakur has strong power, but Teo also brings real strength and sharp footwork in the ring, which shows his drive and ability.
And the thing I like about Teo's style, when you have a guy like Shakur whose defense is that good, and he's not just a guy who's going to hug you, he can box, the easiest thing in the world is just to pick him against everybody.
Right.
Yes.
But Teo also has the kind of footwork, Malik, where he steps around guys. And I think about Buddy McGirt, Meldrick Taylor.
Yes.
Roy, where Meldrick had quick enough feet where if you were going to come right at Buddy McGirt, he could box you. But Meldrick could give him angles that were more difficult. I think of Roy Jones, James Toney. If you were going to go at James Toney, forget it. His defense is too good. But Roy had the feet to move around James Toney, and maybe Teo has the feet to move around Shakur.
I seriously doubt it, man. Shakur is a whole different type of animal. His ring IQ is up there with the best. He's getting literally, I don't know how many times we've seen two.
Shakur says people often judge him unfairly and fail to give him proper respect while minimizing what he has done and dismissing the fighters he has beaten.
And just kept it moving. I do feel like I am in a situation that when I do make fighters look bad and beat them up, the first thing that they going to run to is, oh, this guy wasn't that good, or this guy is not nobody. They're going to take away from my resume, same way they did with Bud. Just like my last fight, they turned the dude that I was fighting and they say he's a cab driver. But I want to say his fight before he fought me, he fought Nakatani. And no disrespect to Teo had a majority decision with Nakatani. Lomachenko, it took him 9 to 10 rounds to get him out of there. That dude got him out of there in 6. So he couldn't be as bad as how they made him seem. But I think I'm just in a lose situation when it comes down to it, because anybody that I fight,
this time he is fully focused on proving himself and shutting down everyone who doubts him.
That I fight, they gonna act like I didn't fight nobody. Even with Edwin is a great fighter, but after I beat him, they're gonna sit there and say that he wasn't as good as.
Ryan Garcia has given his view on the much-awaited fight between Shakur Stevenson and Teofimo Lopez. He slightly favors Shakur to win, but makes it clear that Teofimo should never be overlooked. Garcia says Stevenson's skill, speed, and strong defense give him an edge and make him a difficult opponent for anyone at lightweight. At the same time, he admits Lopez brings power hunger and the ability to adjust, which keeps the fight unpredictable. Garcia explains that at this level, boxing often comes down to timing small moments and taking chances. Even the favorite has to stay alert because one clean combination or smart change can shift the fight. To him, this matchup is exciting because it puts Stevenson's technical sharpness against Lopez's attacking style. While he leans toward Shakur, he believes Teofimo has everything needed to shock people.
I would put my money on Shakur, but shit, I won't be surprised if Teofimo surprises us all, for sure. Yeah. I think I'm underestimating Teofimo a little bit, but I don't think he can make the necessary adjustments to his own style to combat what Shakur does best. But he could definitely prove me wrong, for sure.
Oscar Valdez recently gave his view on the upcoming fight between Teofimo Lopez and Shakur Stevenson and explained why he feels Teofimo has a real shot at winning. Valdez highlights Lopez's positioning, footwork, and natural counter-punching skill. He explains that Teofimo uses his back foot to stay balanced, step away when needed, and take advantage of his long reach to land clean counters. This approach lets him trade while avoiding heavy damage, a skill he has developed since his amateur career and Olympic background. Valdez adds that some pure boxing fans may not always enjoy this style, but it plays a major role in Teofimo's success. He believes that defeating a fighter like Shakur Stevenson takes patience, sharp timing, and smart pressure.
But you gotta hit him first. And Shakur Stevenson, the way he's positioned, the way his back foot's there, and then you see him comfortable, and he's all right, this is my shot, and you throw it, he just rocks back, or he has that back foot, just steps back, and he has a long reach, so he just counter punches you. And that's part of the game. You get hit and not get hit. And Shakur Stevenson does it to the T. He perfected that since he was an amateur and Olympian, silver medalist, and now he's done it as a professional. Maybe not the whole world enjoys it, but the pure boxing fan will maybe appreciate that.
I know you tried to do it, and Shakur's undefeated at this point, but like, how do you beat a Shakur Stevenson?
I think how you beat a Shakur Stevenson, if I can go back and you do something.
Valdez says Teofimo needs to stay patient and wait for the right moment to land clean shots that push Stevenson into tough situations, similar to how other fighters have beaten more technical opponents in boxing history. He compares it to past fights where accuracy and perfect timing helped underdogs earn surprise wins. Valdez explains that Lopez staying calm, controlling distance, and firing counters while under pressure makes him a serious danger. If he adds smart pressure and keeps his defense tight, Teofimo could threaten Stevenson's unbeaten record. Valdez believes this fight is not only about skill, but also a tactical contest where Lopez counterpunching and patience could decide who wins.
Make that damage where he has no other option. And we all got tremendous fighters who box very well. You got Sugar Ray Leonard to Roberto Duran came, and he ended up catching him. You got Sweet Pernell Whitaker. he was an amazing defensive fighter. So, you know, Zurdo Ramirez came in and beat him then and other fighters. So everyone that, you know, I think time will tell what type of fighter, but I would say a pressured fighter. Maybe someone like Pitbull. You know, we know Pitbull has had some losses with guys who are even less defensive fighters than Shakur Stevenson. So Rayo Venezuela and then Gervonta Davis, and then his controversy.
Zack Moses shared his honest opinion on the upcoming fight between Shakur Stevenson and Teofimo Lopez, saying he expects Stevenson to control the matchup. He highlights Shakur's technical skill, speed, and ring intelligence as giving him a clear edge over Lopez. Moses explains that Stevenson's ability to manage distance, read his opponent, and take advantage of mistakes makes him a serious challenge for anyone in the lightweight division. While he recognizes Teofimo's power and determination, he believes Stevenson's experience, calmness, and strategy will counter Lopez's strengths. He also mentions past fights like Vazil and Moten to show how Stevenson has consistently handled aggressive fighters, proving his style is very hard to beat.
In a massive fight against Teofimo, Madison Square Garden next week. How do you see that playing out?
I see him beating the shit out of Teofimo. I see Teo I don't want to really say too much, but I see Teo coming to do what he do, and I see Shakur coming to do what he do. And I just see Shakur doing whatever he want. And any type of way he want it, that's how it's going to be. And next week is a big week. And I can't wait for bro to show everybody, for real.
Should beat the shit out of him. Do you think he's going to stop Teofimo Lopez? Do you think if he wants to, he can?
I mean, he act crazy. I think he can. That's all I'm going to say. He act crazy. I think he can.
Last one. Obviously, with that fight in the horizon, you want to be involved in big fights like that going down, you know, that New York, New Jersey rivalry. Is that something that inspires you when you see Shakur doing this at the highest level?
I mean, for sure.
Antonio Tarver recently analyzed the upcoming fight between Teofimo Lopez and Shakur Stevenson and explained the only realistic way Lopez can win. He points out that Stevenson's strength comes from controlling distance using angles and keeping the fight in the center of the ring. When Shakur does this, he naturally has the advantage, making it hard for Lopez to find openings. But if Stevenson is forced onto the back foot or pushed against the ropes, Lopez gets key chances to attack. His quick combinations and ability to throw both hands fast make him very dangerous up close, especially against a skilled defensive fighter. Tarver also emphasizes that fitness and mental focus are just as important.
Fight sort of in the middle, you gotta favor Shakur, but if he's on the back foot, if he's on the ropes, I mean, that's going to give Teofimo a lot of opportunities. And what makes Teofimo, I believe, dangerous in this fight, he throws both hands in succession. He's a combination type puncher, and that always serves well if you got a real slick defensive fighter in there. If Shakur can show us a little bit of that, what he had in his last fight, a lot of that work in the center of the ring, it's going to be an exciting fight. I think you got to favor the guy who's in the best condition, not only physically, but mentally. I think, these guys are going to have to lock in, and they can't let, that intricate, you got to have your personal life in order. You know what I'm saying? Leading up to a fight this big, that's going to be the key.
Both fighters need to be in peak condition and fully focused, putting personal distractions aside, because any lapse can be costly at this level. While Stevenson's stats and skills make him the favorite, Lopez can make the fight much harder by forcing exchanges and applying pressure smartly. By keeping Stevenson aware of counters, Lopez can break his rhythm, create openings, and possibly take control. Lopez's stamina and tough conditioning also help him if the fight goes into the later rounds. Tarver notes that Teofimo has a history of stepping up when doubted, citing fights against top opponents like Lomachenko and Josh Taylor. If Lopez combines his power, accuracy, and resilience, he has a real shot at challenging Stevenson, making this matchup an exciting test of skill, strategy, and determination.
Both possess?
Yeah. Smart money would be on the boxer, Shakur Stevenson, winning the decision. But, if Lopez can make this fight, a lot tougher than expected, and he's going to have to exchange with Shakur. He's a fast fighter. We don't know who's the quickest or fastest here. You have to give the speed edge to Shakur. But if Lopez can punch with this fast guy, make him a little bit cautious, and a little bit leery of what's coming back, that serves him well. But Teofimo is one of the best conditioned fighters out there. If this fight goes late, you can expect him to be pushing forward round 9, 10, and 11 if it goes late.
Yeah, you know, a big question is always like what Teo is going to show up. And like when everyone's counted out Teo, it's actually been the times where he's like upset people, like against Lomachenko, against Josh Taylor, fights.
Wade Plemons analyzes the upcoming fight between Teofimo Lopez and Shakur Stevenson, highlighting Stevenson as a defensive expert and a true master in the ring. Plemons says Stevenson's skill in turning defense into offense sets him apart, allowing him to read punches, anticipate moves, and use opponents' aggression to land counters. He explains that Stevenson's style is not about taking hits or relying on constant volume. For Lopez, the plan will likely involve using his boxing intelligence while keeping an offensive pace on the front foot. Plemons adds that if Lopez can get Stevenson to lead and fight forward, it might reveal weaknesses in Stevenson's control of the center of the ring. Lopez's ability to switch between defensive counterpunching and offensive pressure could give him an edge in adjusting to Stevenson's movements.
A professor of the sweet science, you may say. And it's not like Teofimo has a William Zepeda-esque style. He's not just going to be front foot, volume punching, eat punches to give punches. That's not how he's going to fight. He is going to try to go boxing IQ for boxing IQ with Shakur, but I assume do it more on an offensive front foot pace than trying to goad Shakur to walk to him. I mean, it might be the best option for Teofimo if he could get Shakur to be front foot and offensive because of maybe the deficiencies Shakur has on the front foot. We haven't really seen him be a dominant front foot control center fighter. But this is why I'm hoping, again, knock on wood, we don't get like a defensive standoff where we're both feinting and no one wants to take the lead foot and both guys want to play counterpuncher. I think that Teo can do both better than Shakur can do both. I think Shakur is probably the better defensive to offensive fighter. I think Teo could probably switch.
Plemons also points out the difficulty Lopez faces. Stevenson's defensive skill combined with his offensive transitions makes him very hard to hit. Lopez will need to lure Stevenson into spots where counters can be used, but this demands patience, accuracy, and perfect timing. Any mistake could let Stevenson take control again instantly. In the end, the fight looks like a strategic battle between two top fighters. Stevenson's defensive brilliance and ability to turn defense into offense contrasts with Lopez's offensive flexibility and adaptability, making this a matchup that tests strategy, timing, and ring intelligence at the highest level.
He's talking about, I don't know, there could be a number of things he's talking about. Low blows, rabbit punches, rough clinch work, raking a forearm. I don't really know what he's talking about, but that's hilarious. He's just coming out and saying it. This is when Darren Till was telling Tommy Fury if he started losing the boxing match, he would kick him in the head. This is the same kind of energy, dude. Yeah, hey, listen, I might just do something.
Be a fighter like him. It is not illegal to do certain punches and throw certain punches or hit certain areas. It's not, as long as it's not below the belt line. Is that true?
Are you saying you're gonna hit me in the back of the head?
Yeah, I was gonna say, what are we talking about? You can't. I'm gonna punch him in the back of the head.
Huh? You can't hit behind the head. I mean,
no, I know. There's rules to it.
Back of the head, you can't hit nobody in the back of the head.
Just saying, what?
That's all for today's video, so stay tuned and we'll see you next time.